I don't watch much television. I have an incredibly busy life.
Yeah, I'm very busy too.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the SNL hosts who've left an indelible mark on Studio 8H. Our only rule? The host can't have been a cast member at one point.
You feeling what I'm feeling?
If it's resignation, then yes.
Number 30, Pedro Pascal.
Early in my career, I played small parts in every crime show. I even played 2 different characters on Law & Order. Tito Cabasa, who looked like this.
In a series of events that surprised absolutely no one, the internet's daddy, or multiple Emmy nominee Pedro Pascal that is, went above and beyond for his SNL hosting gig. The Game of Thrones and Mandalorian star was riding high on the wave of his breakout leading role in The Last of Us, and very easily could have phoned it in for the sketch show.
Oh my God. Where am I? Why am I in a bed? I don't got anything that's going on right now.
This most definitely was not the case in real life. Pascal brought his real-life charm and screen presence to SNL and turned it up to 11, even stealing the show and making multiple cameos on a later episode hosted by Puerto Rican musician Bad Bunny.
You want me to translate?
See.
Yes.
Number 29, Peyton Manning.
She never made it to the NFL. Didn't have what it took. She got cut by the Dolphins. She tried in Canada for a bit. She's a real disappointment to all of us, but, you know, still a great lady and we love her.
Look, we're just gonna come out and say it. Athletes hosting Saturday Night Live has historically been a very mixed bag. We're looking at you, Michael Phelps and Nancy Kerrigan. That said, widely beloved NFL quarterback Peyton Manning is thankfully the exception that proves the rule.
Why is the door open? Close the door. Stay in there. Okay, I'm sorry. Do you want to lose? I throw, you catch. It's not that hard, okay?
Although he's only hosted once, coincidentally on his 31st birthday in 2007, the Indianapolis Colts and Denver Broncos superstar more than rose to the challenge and managed to do the impossible for a sports hero in his position, looking like he was exactly where he was supposed to be. Case in point, the Locker Room sketch, in which Manning and cast member Will Forte show off the funkiest dance moves.
Can you feel it? Pull it!
I am feeling it, Coach.
Number 28, Elliot Gold.
I just got in, and this is a lucky. And does anybody know who won the Islander game? Oh, they were behind the Russians 2-1. I know it's over, but the island is where I'm coming from.
Younger viewers may not remember it now, but there was a time when Elliot Gold and SNL went hand in hand. In fact, the Oscar nominee and former Barbra Streisand beau hosted 6 times between 1976 and 1980, and was the series' most frequent host at the time of his last go-round.
Senor, the people are a poor people. They have worked very hard.
Gold arguably set the standard for dramatic leading men like Pedro Pascal to branch out and explore their sillier side via SNL. Although Gold hasn't hosted in over 40 years, his reputation clearly precedes him, as he's continued to make SNL cameos here and there, particularly with regard to the Five-Timers Club. The actor has helped to quote-unquote induct Tom Hanks and John Mulaney. More on those guys a little later.
To call it Pearl Harbor.
Number 27, Natasha Lyonne.
So, things are going great, and then knock-knock, who's there? Multiple arrests and drug addiction.
In the words of the great musical outfit Chumbawamba, she gets knocked down, but she gets up again. The wickedly talented Lyonne addressed her tumultuous personal life during her SNL monologue, and managed to mine an objectively dark period for one of the sketch show's most memorable 5 minutes.
Life was rough. But just like when Fabio was on that roller coaster and the bird flew into his face. Hey, do we have a photo of that? Ah!
Lyonne noted that she'd been in SNL's orbit for years, even having dated cast member Fred Armisen for a time. And it shows. The first part, that is, not the Armisen part. Lyonne went on to show that her signature charm and that unmistakable voice were perfectly suited to the sketch show's stage. We recommend Mr. Dooley, an all-female Weekend at Bernie's remake, for proof of this.
Okay, here goes nothing.
Number 26, Sofia Vergara.
I came here all the way from a small town in Colombia called Barranquilla. Barranquilla is a Spanish word that means Cleveland.
This animated Modern Family breakout star proved why that was the case when she hosted in 2012. Playing to her strengths, Vergara demonstrated that she was equally as fit for live comedy. This was especially clear in a Gilly sketch, in which the energetic Emmy nominee held her own against SNL legend Kristen Wiig's iconic troublemaker.
Gilly?
What?
Gilly?
Yeah?
Did you throw America's favorite dessert at my head?
This was in addition to a Being Quirky segment in which the former Gloria Delgado Pritchett pulled out her best Fran Drescher impression. Also worth noting, Vergara's hosting venture was also Kate McKinnon's first episode, and her hilarious Penelope Cruz is a perfectly ridiculous sidekick to Vergara's all-in turn as herself.
Sophia, you know Penelope, right?
Yes, of course, Penelope. I love you. I'm a big fan, big fan.
You're a fan of me, Penelope. I'm a fan of you, Sophia. Hello.
Number 25, Sterling K. Brown.
Leslie, I just gotta say, you are such an inspiration.
Okay.
I mean, just think of how far you've come.
Okay.
Hey, you know, you are the funniest person on this show.
I mean, that's what I'm gonna say.
You're the best.
As you'll see with other performers further in on our list, we don't think anyone expected Brown to pull off hosting SNL with such aplomb. Looking back, it probably should have been obvious that the Emmy and Oscar nominee had it in him. Hosting in 2018 alongside musical guest James Bay, it's admittedly somewhat confounding that Brown hasn't been asked back to host again since.
Is it protected or unprotected?
Unprotected.
No, what?
Hey, look, can we just talk about why it burns when I pee?
Because pee's hot, duh.
The This Is Us star had no issue taking center stage when he hosted, breathing life and believability into some deeply absurd sketches. Seriously, the sketch in which Brown's character preaches to his girlfriend's parents about Shrek? He's not Emmy nominated for nothing.
Is that your favorite, Justin?
No, Scott, I'm a liar. Yes, it is my favorite. It's also the best, that's just a fact.
It's okay, Justin.
It's not okay, it's annoying.
Number 24, Dave Chappelle.
Why do we have to say that Black Lives Matter? Now, I admit that is not the best slogan, but McDonald's already took "You Deserve a Break" today.
This legend of stand-up is no stranger to acting in sketch comedy, having hosted and co-created the institution of laughs that is Chappelle's Show. The folks at SNL have called on Chappelle multiple times, specifically to host crucial post-election episodes in 2016, 2020, and 2022.
Hey, what's your sign?
Oh, I'm on the cusp. You see, my head poked out on a Tuesday, but I kept my little feet in till Friday.
While the latter episode was the subject of some backlash due to remarks made by Chappelle that some considered offensive, it goes without saying that whenever the Emmy winner hosts, it constitutes must-see TV. Look out specifically for sketches in which the comedian revives his Chappelle Show characters. Unless, of course, you're a Walking Dead fan who's still sore over certain character deaths.
I have a wife. What? I have a wife. What? I have a wife. Okay. Come on, man. All lives matter. All of us, right? Not if Black lives don't.
Number 23, John Malkovich.
You guys wouldn't know sexy if it sat full weight on your face.
This famously quirky Oscar nominee was a better fit for the SNL stage than anyone could have predicted. His idiosyncratic, often explosive performance style lent itself particularly well to the eras in which he hosted. In particular, his December 6, 2008 appearance featured no shortage of totally absurd sketches that made pitch-perfect use of Malkovich's unique talents, such as a sketch in which Malkovich and Fred Armisen play oddball twins who are obsessed with the possibility of getting a new calculator for Christmas.
Ma, did you get us a calculator?
Are we getting a calculator?
I'm not telling you, you have to wait.
Glenn, guess what we're getting for Christmas?
Above all, look to his characteristically intense monologue, which features a reading of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas Gone Terribly Awry," or incredibly well, depending on how you look at it.
Traveling at 650 miles per second would create such an enormous friction that Santa and his reindeer would burst into flame. You understand, like...
Number 22, Ryan Gosling.
And just in case you're wondering, I did not become aroused. Anytime I felt like I might, I just looked at Colleen here and they're going to take care of it for me, you know?
It may not come as a total shock that this Canadian Renaissance man fits right in on the SNL stage, having starred in his fair share of cinematic comedies. That said, Gosling manages to stand out as a result of his willingness to do pretty much anything.
If I said that I was doing fine, you know I'd be lying. 'Cause I was just kidding, and now I'm just right.
Oh, and also for the fact that he just cannot host with a straight face, which makes him an easy target for cast members like Kate McKinnon, specifically in the iconic Miss Rafferty alien abduction sketches. The multiple Oscar nominee has made such an outsized impact at the legendary sketch show that you might forget he's only hosted 3 times.
I've heard rumblings that I look like someone from TV, but it's just... maybe it's this Bemis person, I don't know.
Number 21, John Mulaney.
There was a plaque on the gazebo, and it said, "This gazebo was built by the town in 1863. That's in the middle of the Civil War. And they built a gazebo."
Yeah, we said no former cast members, but we never said anything about former writers. All jokes aside, Mulaney is not the first writer to return to host, but he's definitely the most accomplished. The Emmy-winning comedian reached the SNL Five-Timers Club in just under 4 years, proving that maybe he should have been part of the cast all along.
You've never worked for anything in your life. You've had everything handed to you. The one thing you haven't been able to purchase is a personality and a soul.
Mulaney has demonstrated that he's capable of doing it all, delivering gut-busting stand-up monologues and elaborate musical parodies, often in the span of a single episode. In fact, the SNL mainstay has often used his hosting gigs as a platform for sketches that he'd written during his time on the show, but never made it to air.
And why would someone on a whim choose from all to order him? Who's this guy?
Number 20, Paul Rudd.
Her hair has too many shrimps in it.
I'm sorry, did you say shrimp?
By her ears are shrimp.
Paul Rudd is famous for being seemingly ageless, and his SNL appearances never get old either. The actor, known for playing Ant-Man and appearing in comedy classics like Clueless and Anchorman, is unsurprisingly great on the Studio 6H stage. In his debut episode, Rudd proved himself as a host willing to commit to a sketch.
Hey, Dwayne, this is my roommate, Kevin.
Hey, nice to meet you. You actually hang out with this loser? Hey, come here.
And since then, he's only gotten better. Rudd's everyman charisma and comic timing make him a natural in this setting. Even for his 5th time, filmed without an audience due to a coronavirus outbreak, he still delivered. And we have no doubt that Rudd has more great hosting gigs to come.
I'm Santa! I make the rules!
Number 19, Paul Simon.
I'm not gonna change anything. I gotta stay with my strengths. Basically, singing and songwriting.
We got another Paul. However, this one is better known for his music. Paul Simon has appeared on SNL as a musical guest multiple times, and 4 of those times, he's pulled double duty. It shouldn't come as a surprise that Simon is comfortable in front of a live audience, but he's such a natural at this, you might think he had another career as a comedian.
I think you're thinking of Neil Simon, aren't you? The playwright, Neil Simon.
And you're Paul
Simon.
Though he's known for writing some pretty serious songs, Simon adapts perfectly to the rhythms of any sketch he's in. It's been more than 30 years since Simon's last time hosting SNL, but we'd absolutely welcome a return from him.
I am pretty deadly.
Number 18, Betty White.
I recall my childhood in rural Kansas. I was bored to tears till all of a sudden a twister hit. It carried me to a magical land full of witches and wizards. Is that what you want? Is it?
Betty White only hosted SNL once, but it was such an amazing effort we have to include her. Hosting thanks in part to a successful social media campaign, the legendary actress and comedian showed just how much of an impact she could still make.
When I first heard about the campaign to get me to host Saturday Night Live, I didn't know what Facebook was. And now that I do know what it is, I have to say, it sounds like a huge waste of time.
Though White, then 88 years old, may have been the oldest host in SNL history, she had more energy than hosts half her age or more. And unsurprisingly, the rest of the cast, including multiple returning alums, are on their A-game as well. White won an Emmy for this episode and reminded us of an invaluable lesson. You're only as old as you feel.
Oh, no, my muffin hasn't had a cherry since 1939.
Number 17, Adam Driver.
Now, what does an oil baron do? The answer? Crush your enemies! Grind their bones into dirt! Make them regret they were ever born!
Adam Driver has come to be recognized as one of the best actors of his generation, reaping countless awards and nominations with undoubtedly more to come. And his SNL hosting stints show just how much range he has. In all of his times as host, Driver's dedication to each and every sketch has been absolutely inspiring.
A buddy of mine saw Kylo Ren take his shirt off in the shower, and he said that Kylo Ren had an 8-pack. That Kylo Ren was shredded.
Whether riffing on his role in Star Wars or playing a particularly unhinged career day speaker, Driver gives it his all from beginning to end. We almost wonder if there's any limit to his abilities. If there is, we have not seen it.
And when your children asks, who killed this putrid king?
No.
Tell them it was I, Cameron Bissell, SAG-AFTRA eligible.
Number 16, Dwayne Johnson.
You know, I want to remind you guys that in Webster's dictionary defines evil as profoundly immoral.
We know what evil means.
Well, it doesn't seem like you do, because you built a freeze ray.
It wasn't just his muscles that made Dwayne Johnson such a star in the wrestling ring. The entertainer, once better known as The Rock, has presence that's all but unignorable, and his charisma translates seamlessly to SNL.
I'm gonna rip this guy apart! And I mean psychologically!
Though many sketches successfully mine comedy from his physicality, we also have to applaud his ability to immerse himself in a character no matter what. And his versatility means he can play an assortment of roles like the pro that he is. We can smell what The Rock is cooking whenever he's on SNL, and we always want more.
Now it's time for them to pay. Dearly.
Number 15, Richard Pryor.
The bed must be on the floor! The bed is on my foot!
Richard Pryor made history as the first black SNL host, and his appearance was also the first episode aired with a tape delay, due to the comedian's penchant for unpredictability. Hosting the show's 7th episode, Pryor's subversive and daring style helped SNL's image as anything but a typical variety show. One sketch in particular, co-starring Chevy Chase, is still considered one of the show's best ever.
How about a starting salary of $5,000?
Your mama!
$7,500 a year.
Your grandma!
He only hosted a single time, but it was truly an event to remember. If you want to understand why so many comedians cite Pryor as an influence, just watch this episode.
Hope I'm funny.
Number 14, Scarlett Johansson.
Did Candace find true love? Who knows? Who cares? Shut up!
Paul Rudd isn't the only Avenger to make an impression on the SNL stage. Scarlett Johansson has hosted numerous times, and she always brings it. Though her movie roles are typically quite dramatic, Johansson is a sketch writer's dream. There's seemingly no role that's too broad for her to handle, and she gives even the most seasoned cast members a run for their money. Even after 6 hosting gigs, she keeps impressing us with her range.
Okay, great. Here is your blanket. What will you be for Halloween this year?
What?
I'm going as Red Riding Hood from Into the Woods.
An incredibly accomplished performer going all the way back to her childhood, Johansson makes any episode of SNL a must-watch.
Oh my God, a Land Rover? I said I wanted a Range Rover. Throw that hideous four-person car in the trash. I am leaving.
Number 13, John Hamm.
Robin Williams, take 1.
Marty, it's getting heavy in here. Ooh, yes. Ooh, 1.21 gigawatts.
By now, John Hamm's comedic chops are firmly established. But when we primarily knew him for Mad Men, we had no idea that he was capable of making us laugh this hard. Hosting the show 3 times between 2008 and 2010, he's shown just how far his talents go. He's even capable of holding down a sketch all by himself.
And unlike other bathroom ham dispensers, John Hamm has only the finest boar's head oven roasted ham.
And while Don Draper might take himself very seriously, Hamm is totally game for all kinds of shenanigans. Whether wearing a tailored suit or dressing decidedly down, John Hamm's presence is sure to improve any sketch.
I go through life like a cockroach in the dirt. You people make me sick.
Number 12, Emma Stone.
My body's gonna feel nasty after I scarf this fat, mushy, stinky burger and wash it down with this frosty dumbass beer.
When Emma Stone first hosted SNL in 2010, she was still something of a rising star, and her debut episode only made that star shine even brighter. The future Oscar winner was immediately a natural fit for this comedic institution, and every subsequent hosting gig has shown her honing her talents further. She's able to make us crack up with just a single perfect expression or hilariously delivered line. It's also readily apparent just how invested she is in every sketch she's in. Watch any episode of SNL hosted by Stone, and you will see why she's become such a beloved talent.
Wake up, Santa, get out of my bed. It's time to deliver those presents.
Number 11, Danny DeVito.
Then it hit me. That's it. What's it? Oh, beautiful for spacious skies. I look down, sure enough, there's amber waves of grain.
Danny DeVito certainly didn't need to host SNL to be recognized as a comedic genius, but we're sure glad he did anyway. He's hosted 5 times, 6 if you count his co-hosting with spouse Rhea Perlman. Just like with his movie and sitcom roles, DeVito has an inimitable energy that can kick the quality of any sketch up several notches.
Oh, man. This next page, I don't believe what I'm looking at.
And he also gives his fellow performers plenty to work with. The last time DeVito hosted SNL was all the way back in 1999, and we can only hope his hosting days are not over just yet.
Did it just get warmer in here again? Maybe.
Number 10, Melissa McCarthy.
She was born to host my times. Born to host my times.
Early in her career, this actress performed with famous Los Angeles sketch troupe The Groundlings. So obviously, Melissa McCarthy has the necessary improv chops to hang with SNL's best. She's played Sean Spicer to perfection with her sensational physical comedy, and the portrayal even led to a Primetime Emmy Award.
Now I'd like to begin today by apologizing on behalf of you to me.
Meanwhile, her original characters showcase her comedic versatility and ability to go with the flow. Melissa is loud but charming, which makes her a dynamic, unforgettable host, one that SNL continues to call on for special appearances.
This is my dad, and this is me over his dead body screaming, "No!"
Number 9, Buck Henry.
Well, then take my ticket here.
What?
Well, yeah, if you really want to go, well, sure, but will both of you go? That's all right.
In contrast to Melissa McCarthy's in-your-face style of comedy, this old-school icon takes a more subtle approach. Back in the late 70s, Buck Henry's dry humor was so captivating that he was asked to host the season finale 4 years in a row.
And it is the 103rd time that I've hosted.
Considering SNL's gallery of wacky characters, Henry is the perfect straight man for sketches about social outcasts. Some of his finest moments will creep you out in that hilariously awkward kind of way, while others display Buck's raw comedic talent. Either way, he is guaranteed to make you laugh.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum!
I'm Long John Silver. I'm gonna search you further than
Search me, search me, search me!
Number 8, Candace Bergen.
Well, we'd like to show you another one of Mr. Mainway's products. It retails for $1.98, and it's called Bag of Glass.
This model turned actress is known for her extensive film and television work. What you may not realize, however, is that Candace Bergen is the daughter of comedian Edgar Bergen, and she clearly shares his penchant for humor.
It's safe for everything, even tarnished diamonds, with only one dunk. New Tarnoff eats up tarnish, leaves your crown sparkling.
Bergen set a high bar for all hosts on SNL, and she was also the first woman to host. In sketches, Candace plays it cool and is able to match some of the series' most accomplished cast members beat for beat. Over the years, she's often returned, making her not just a memorable guest host, but one of the series' most influential and relatable hosts.
And we think it's going to be a very exciting show, and we'll be back after this film message.
Number 7, Drew Barrymore.
Sheely.
Spaghetti.
All right, that is it.
Speaking of relatable performers, this American actress has been in the public eye since childhood. Oh, and Drew Barrymore also comes from a Hollywood family. She makes it look easy on stage, and she's an old pro too, as she actually hosted in 1982 at only 7 years old.
And someone says I can go arcade, I say, terrific, anytime.
While Drew can hold her own with original characters, it's the celebrity impressions that stand out most. She may be America's sweetheart, but she will kill you with her kind demeanor and her extraordinary knack for comedic timing.
Callista Flockhart with an amazing negative $58,000. Good job.
Thank you. Number 6, Tom Hanks.
Hey, and what's the matter with those guys on Miami Vice? Those guys, they never wear any socks. I mean, guys, what's the big deal?
Everybody loves this American icon, so much so that he acknowledged himself as America's father during a 2016 monologue.
You know, magazine cover recently called me America's dad. And I would have preferred sexiest man alive, but I will take it.
Long before Tom Hanks became an Oscar winner, he was a comedic veteran of the SNL stage. Like Drew Barrymore, he's got a gift for astute celebrity impressions, but he's also capable of stepping away from the script for bizarre, zany characters. Remember, this is bosom buddies Buffy Wilson we're talking about. He puts the audience at ease, only to flip the script with his vast range of comedic quirks.
What's my name?
David S. Pumpkins.
Any questions?
Number 5, John Goodman. Back in 1980, this extraordinary character failed to make the Saturday Night Live cut. But John Goodman nonetheless became a series legend. With his larger-than-life nature, he can play overbearing and aggressive characters, and he's also got the personality to channel his feminine side too. Remember Linda Tripp?
Apparently, it's against the law in the state of Maryland, and they want to prosecute me for it.
And while Goodman's not afraid of going over the top, he can pull things back if he needs to, always playing off his fellow SNL performers. If Tom Hanks is America's dad, then John Goodman is America's hilarious uncle.
Oh, God. My wife's here. And everyone from work. Do they think this is dumb?
Number 4, Justin Timberlake. Some performers just have that special X factor, and this superstar was one of those blessed individuals. While recent controversial revelations have tainted Justin Timberlake's reputation, there's no denying that an appearance by him in the past would bring some hip appeal to the SNL stage.
I'm just here to do the comedy thing, and I'm not gonna sing tonight. Not gonna do that thing where my voice goes high.
The NSYNC member just knows how to keep people tuned in with his magnetic personality and triple threat skill set. He always seems one step ahead during sketches, leaving viewers curious if he'll stay on script or improvise.
When my great-great-grandson will bring sexy back.
Plus, Justin also seems to be having the time of his life, resulting in several hilarious moments that keep Saturday Night Live in the headlines.
Excuse me, can we talk about the students, please? They were put in real danger by our principal. That man, right over there.
Excuse me, that is absolutely not true.
And that's the news. Stay tuned for Playhouse 90 with Lee Jacob. Thank you.
Number 3, Christopher Walken.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
Christopher Walken brings a strange sense of effortless cool to SNL with his intellectual comedy and subdued technique.
At lunch, you're gonna treat yourself to a vanilla ice cream. You're gonna eat it too fast. You're gonna get an ice cream headache.
Like John Goodman, Walken excels during bizarre scenarios, whether he's asking for more cowbell or breaking the fourth wall as the Continental.
Throw champagne in my face once. Shame on you.
Plus, his unorthodox manner of speech always keeps the cast members on their toes, as they wonder which way Walken will go. He's a true original that brings out the best in other performers.
Now, I'd been begging her to try Shinshi for months. She'd refused on the grounds that it was unclean.
Number 2, Alec Baldwin.
I bet Nixon only got 1 scoop of ice cream for dessert, but I get 2 scoops, okay? 2 scoops.
Younger Saturday Night Live fans surely recognize this actor for his exaggerated Donald Trump impression. But Alec Baldwin is no one-trick pony, as he's one of the most versatile celebrities to ever host. And he's hosted more times than anybody else as of 2018.
Well, there's no beating my balls. They're made from a secret sweaty family recipe.
Alec's run began in 1990, as he mixed celebrity impressions with oddball characters to complement the likes of oddball comics such as Chris Farley and Adam Sandler.
Canteen boy, would you, rub some bug repellent on my chest?
He's a true professional, someone that raises the bar by staying on point with each and every sketch. And of course, he isn't afraid of doing political impersonations.
Kiss
my ass!
I was gonna say kiss my baby!
He cursed at a baby!
He did! He swore at an infant!
I couldn't see who it was. I didn't know.
While Baldwin has gone through some serious challenges in recent years, his work on SNL will always be cherished. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Steve Martin.
Live from New York. Line. It's Saturday night.
This comedy icon has been with Saturday Night Live since the beginning. In fact, some people may actually believe that Steve Martin is an original cast member. In the early days, he helped put SNL on the map with his improv comedy and purely original characters, all the while creating pop culture moments before going viral was even a thing.
King Tut. How'd you get so funky? Did you do the monkey?
With his extraordinary ability to simply entertain, Steve makes SNL must-watch TV whenever he hosts. He is a comedic genius and clearly enjoys seeing people chuckle at the silliest of things.
Don't come crawling to us to have fashion models from the Fox Bar will be here soon to give themselves to the Festrunk brothers.
Who's your favorite SNL host? Be sure to let us know in the comments.
You have made thousands of fan cams of me, and I'm not sure what they mean, but I know it has to stop.
But we make them because you're our beloved!
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.